REITs got smashed, thumbed down by Donald Trump when he got elected as president this week. You'll be asking, oh my God, is this something that you should be fearful of? Is the rally on REITs gone? Are REITs in for a directional downtrend as opposed to an uptrend as what we saw previously? In this week's video, this is what we're going to answer and help you and guide you along. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel as always. Look at this chart, ladies and gentlemen. You notice that in this week alone, the 10-year bond yield had a huge jump from less than 4% to more than 4.4%. In fact, at the high, it was at 4.438%. Now, as we speak, essentially you can see that little red arrow there. It's on its way down. Let's hope that will continue to come down because that holds the key to a turnaround in real estate investment trusts. You can see that as the 10-year bond yield went up 10%, the S&P also went up 5%. But REITs in Singapore got sold off by between 10 to 15%. Were you not warned about this, that REITs will be sold off? If Donald Trump comes in as president? Well, for our investors at GCP Global, we did warn them in our GCP Global classes. But anyway, just to based on the warning that we have issued last week on Parkway Life REIT in this video that you've seen, where there's, we were surprised that Parkway Life REIT actually entered into the French nursing home, where it's been a scandalous industry because of the problems with au pair, right? As you can see, after our video came up, Parkway Life REIT, got sold off very badly. It's down as much as 10%, or down from 380 when the video came out to as low as 342, intraday low that we saw yesterday. Now, in our last week's video, we posed the question and we showed you, that, and we worked out for you actually, that the NPI yield of this French acquisitions is on a total cost basis only 4.6%. It does not give you the margin of safety. In fact, it actually diverted investors' attention on Parkway Life from the potential lucrative acquisition of Mount E Novena. Well, you see, price actually speaks, and price actually tells you whether essentially wealth can be made on Parkway Life. Well, this is something that we specialize in the last 35 years. One of the key things that we are still positive about a real estate investment trust is that, look at this chart. This was the inverse yield curve of the 10-year minus the 2-year. You notice that during 2.5 years, from March of 2022 right up to September of this year, you notice that for the last 2.5 years, it was in a negative territory, meaning that the 2-year yield yielded more than the 10-year. And we told you that this inverse yield is actually indicative of investors' sentiment towards the fact that the economy enter a recession and therefore bad for REITs. But when it started to turn positive, you notice in the last couple of months when we showed in our last class in June as well as September for our GCP Global investors, as well as to you in our various past videos, we told you that it's time to turn positive. And true enough, REITs rallied powerfully right up to September. In fact, it rallied so well that we enjoyed a tremendous European trip. For more of the details of the European trip, do look at our last video. So after this week's fiasco, look at the chart again. Well, it came down a bit, but it did not breach the negative thing. So this is something we want to watch with you as we go ahead, because, if you want to turn negative on REITs, wait for it to turn negative again in terms of the inverse yield curve. But if it's not, then it is take heart, that essentially you're on the right track. Now, in this week's video, I think it's key to know that if REITs basically are still on an uptrend and will challenge new highs in time to come, then essentially what should you be doing? Remember in our GCP Global investment classes, we only teach two things: when to buy big and when to sell. Let me just give you an example. This is my own trades. In our GCP Global investment classes, we have used Capital Land Integrated Commercial Trust. It's a very well-run REIT, and that's why it's fantastic for trading purposes. So I just want to share with you that in July onwards, you notice the price ran from less than $2 to as high as $2.20, in September. And that's where essentially we started to take profits. Let me just show you that the very first one, for example, in my class, my last investment class, I shared with my investors. Like, for example, on 12th of July, I actually sold off, Capital Land Integrated Commercial Trust for a total quantity of 116,000 at a price of 2.099 or roughly 210. In fact, we have been selling big time. Like in this trade, we did 116,000 at 210 and above. And in fact, in the months of July, August, September, when it went to 220, we have been selling. Now the next trade that I actually want to show you is, in 12th July, we already started to sell, at, we start to sell 96,000. Okay. So can you imagine that in a month alone, this is just a fraction of my trades. You can see we already sold 250,000. So imagine that you have sold 2 million, on the way up to in September when the price went to 220. For our GCP global investors, we told them, don't buy, even at the preferential offering at 2.07. As you know, Capital Land went in to buy Ion, and in fact, they raised money at 2.07. So for the longest period, as you can see from the chart, the share price was above 2.07. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, especially yesterday, the price fell below 2.07. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if I have sold 2 million previously at 210 and above, God, I'll be buying big time, back, below yesterday as well as the day before. See? So it is in wealth multiplication, ladies and gentlemen, especially in good REITs like Capital Land Integrated Commercial. It offers you a very good trading opportunities. Of course, if you want to know more about other REITs and other trading opportunities, especially the trading price, when to get in, when to buy in, do attend our next class on 8th of February 2025. The early bird special is still valid. Do sign up our GCP Global website. So, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, in our class, we should just specialize on when to sell and when to buy big, So, for example, just in our last video last week, we told you that, we actually told our investors at GCP Global in our last two classes in June and September to switch out, of Parkway Life and actually get into the likes of LVMH. Now this LVMH shot up to 2619 yesterday. The next one is actually EssilorLuxottica, which owns brands like Ray-Ban, Oakley, and some of the best spectacles, sunglasses in the world. They dominate the world market and is one of our core holdings. The share price alone shot up from 213 early this week to 228, of course, in euro. Can you imagine what the kind of tremendous profit that we make? And then, of course, our perennial favorite, that's Hermes, actually went below 2,100, and now it's gone up to almost 2,159. A 1 week fantastic gain. So once again, it exemplifies, what we have been saying, when to sell, when to buy, because this is actually propelled by our desire to actually focus on REIT acquisition and help you multiply your wealth, right? So as this shows, this is a very interesting one from Harvard Business School. It tells you to think big, buy small. We are just the opposite. We like you to actually think big and buy big, especially when the price actually falls down sharply. That's what we've shown you and shared with you with Capital Land Integrated Commercial Trust for good REITs. And of course, if you ask me right now, is the REITs rally over? I will tell you, definitely not. But what will I be tracking? Okay, so yes, the first thing I'll be watching is the 10-year bond yield. I would like to see it drop below 4% very soon again, and that will actually be the hot bait, the impetus for the for the next REITs rally. The second thing I want to tell you is that the inverse yield curve must stay positive, meaning that the 10-year pays higher than the 2-year. Otherwise, if we reach an inverse yield situation as what we saw in the 2.5 years preceding the run in July and August, you are going to actually have REITs reversing. And thirdly, Trump is actually pushing for a strong US dollar. Do watch and to what extent the magnitude and how fast the US dollar actually goes up, against major currencies like the euro, Swiss franc, the renminbi, and the Singapore dollar. Because the rapidity of such sharp moves actually does indicate, how to take bets on the market and therefore how to multiply your wealth through real estate investment trusts. Once again, hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell your friends about us. And do join us for more videos to help you multiply your wealth in real estate investment trusts. Cheers!